Well, guys, just when you might be thinking, well, it's been a while since we heard much about FIFA 2K, right? Any rumors or any rumblings of anything, it's kind of been a while. Well, more stuff pops up again, and every time that it gets further described, it sounds more and more like they're trying to make a challenger to FIFA. Now, we'll discuss that plenty more here in this video today, but that's kind of the synopsis of what's going on. I want to talk about leaks today too, and that's why we're on this screen right here. This is actually a year ago today, so there's some interesting things to look at with this as well. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. But as you guys can tell, I just apologize already. My voice still is not back to normal. It might be worse than yesterday, actually. You know what? It might be worse. So thank you all for being here and watching, of course. I'm not even going to load up FC25 right now. There's just not much to say about it. Not much to do. Not much to get into. We're kind of at that point now where I don't even know what to do with it. So we're just going to start off with kind of leaks and news most of the days at this point, unless something weird for content comes out. To me, I think the rest of the stuff's far more interesting right now than FC25 content that people just don't want to talk about, because why would you? But okay, relating back to now this initial tweet here. So 1 year ago today, we got the top 50 ratings, confirmed stats, and play styles as well for all of them. And even before that, we scroll down here and you've got right here, the day before that was Shaylene's official stats, right? Down here, Hero's official stats right here from last year. August 21st, you had Gareth Bale's leaked stats, right? So what is happening right now? To me, I'm starting to kind of think here, the further this goes on, maybe we're already seeing what FUT Economist said in his interview, I think with FUT Accountant. He said, our plan is to limit leaks next year. Maybe we're already seeing that right now. I was expecting not to, because we already had, like, I think it was in, I want to say it was in May or June. We already had like Zlatan's leak to be in the game. They're right here. These are just predicted stats on them, right? But Exo FIFA tweeted this out on June 24th, and that was 2 months ago now. And obviously all these icons were exactly who were going to be in the pre-order, right? So they had leaks already and stuff like that. And these stats actually for Zlatan were reportedly leaked to be correct as well. We're in June, right? And going back to what we even saw last year, we had like full teams of ratings and official stats already leaked by now. So I kind of think we're already in this stage of maybe EA are really trying to limit certain things. And I think it's good for the health of the game, honestly. I think what made the game a lot more interesting many years ago, well, one thing, this is not the main thing, but one thing was the strategy in the market. I think that actually played a big part in the uniqueness in a game like this. And with leaks and stuff, plus with the way the game has gone, the market's kind of been just irrelevant for, I want to say, like 3 years now. The last time I remember the market being very relevant was like FIFA 23 when the World Cup was going on. That was one of the last times to me that there was like real relevancy with the market. People wanted to know what was going on. When do I buy? When do I sell? That kind of thing. It's been quite a few years now. And I think that's one of the things that EA over the last 2 years, they've really been missing. There's a lot of the uniqueness that made this game more interesting than others. They're going away from that somewhat. They're doing some good things too, right? But I'm just talking about some of the, the reasons why this game isn't as popular as FIFA 22 or 21 or 23 even. I think I just voice cracked. Okay, let's get into this next part now, because we'll talk about this for a while probably. And as a couple days ago, Mateus Gamer tweeted this out, and it was 2K is hiring for Fantasy's part. I didn't know what the hell that was, so ignore that for now. We'll get to that. But he says maybe it's a studio that's creating a new IP. There is no way to know if it is for football, but in the descriptions they say it is the biggest project ever made by 2K Sports and a high impact sport at that. So this tweet kind of like sparked my attention again. I was like, I wonder why he's talking about this. And I went to 2K's website and I looked at this is the view all jobs section right here. So this is like not ones they're like hiring for. You can apply anytime for any job, but I did some digging to try and see if any of these, pointed towards a new possible FIFA 2K title, if they were going to be making one. So there is one that massively, I don't know how it isn't a football game. Like, I don't know how. And of course it might not be, but we'll read through it. So lead game designer right here, right? One of the positions at 2K. And here we go. So we're going to read through some of this. I'm going to pause in the middle of it and explain some things. So founded in 2023, 2K Sports Lab is the newest standalone studio at 2K, looking to push game development boundaries to bring 2K's next groundbreaking sports franchise to life. So if you guys don't know what this is, in 2023, when the FIFA 2K rumors really started, was when 2K announced they were making a new literal standalone studio to make a gigantic sports game. That's like, okay, well, that's pretty obvious. We might jump to a conclusion that they might make a FIFA 2K, right? That was when these rumors kind of really started. And obviously still 2K has not announced what this game is. But off of one sentence alone here, it's the next groundbreaking sports franchise. They already have NBA 2K. Unless it's Madden. Is it going to be EA losing the exclusive Madden license? And they know that. But I've heard from insiders, well, I didn't hear, I don't have sources, but I watched videos of people who do have sources, and they say that the Madden and EA re-up on exclusive licensing is basically a done deal, because that expires, I think, in like 2026 or 2027, I want to say, and it's already almost a done deal to extend it like 5 or 6 or 7 more years. But if it's not that, like, what is it? And it's their biggest ever, their biggest sports project ever. Like, what could this possibly be? We're building a world-class team at our new Vancouver, British Columbia location, where our goal was to deliver an exceptional experience through bold ideas, PR jargon, PR bullshit. We're seeking passionate and driven professionals, yada, yada, yada. But it makes a lot of sense to open it up in Vancouver if you're trying to steal some EA employees that know football design, because they don't have to move anywhere then. They don't have to work remotely. They can be right there. So add that as just one more thing here, right? And down here, it says, like, what will make you a great fit? Passion for sports and sports video games. Sure. Experience designing and owning large features for AAA games. Like, this is a AAA sporting title. That's the biggest groundbreaking title or whatever, like, bullshit into, like, how is this not a football game? Like, I don't know how this is not a football game. And the same thing here, like where the studio is. So Burnaby, British Columbia, senior rendering engineer. Click on this one. Here's what it says. Senior rendering engineer who loves to push the boundaries for visuals in games and has a passion for sports simulation games. So that's also not like an arcadey type, I don't know, a Lego sports game or something like that. You know, this is a simulation game. So they're trying to make it a very realistic version of a sports game. It's tough to know like what game they could be talking about if it's not football. So maybe, like I said, there's something else here. If you guys have any idea in the comments, I'd love to hear. And of course, there's a chance of this game, you know, games end up in development for a long time and never come out. That happens sometimes, especially with a studio that has as many resources as 2K. They can afford to like attempt to maybe start doing something and hire some people and start kind of investigating what it might look like, and then, you know, scrap it later on. But as of right now, this is still all happening. At least this right here, whatever they're doing here is still happening. Whatever you think that might be, it might not be FIFA 2K at all, but I don't know what else it could be. And the thing is too, is that Chewboy he kind of went out when Chewboy talked about this. I think it was maybe a year or so ago. If you guys don't know Chewboy, former EA employee, kind of has some inside information on some stuff. He said like the signs are pointing towards this. Like he says this kind of all is adding up to this, but he's just surprised that they would even try to do it because it's such a daunting task. So that was where he was more at, rather than like, no, they're making something else. He's like, no, it kind of looks like they are, but I'm just surprised that anybody would even try to rival EA because it's such a hard thing to do and build it from scratch up to where EA's at right now. But yeah, if you guys have any idea, if this is your kind of expertise, I'd love to hear in the comment section. Okay, a few random bits of info here. So soon, Witcher says EA will announce new stadiums. See the first images of Napoli, Inter Miami, Basel, Besiktas, Young Boys, Salzburg, and more in there as well. So we'll be seeing all the new stadiums apparently, which is something that I also remember when we saw the new stadiums last year. That was like one of the last things we saw from EA that wasn't something we already saw. Like, for example, ratings and new heroes, new icons, everything was leaked already when the stadium stuff came out, and now none of it might be. So that shows once again that maybe leaks are going to be less this year. Also, Dries Mertens retired, so Hero Mertens maybe eventually someday would definitely be pretty cool. But also, like, all the Serie A guys you remember from like FIFA 17, 18, they're like retired now, and we are definitely getting old. I saw this tweet here, guys. Is this true? It's been 2 years and EA still has not released a promo better than FC 24 Thunderstruck. Is that true? I was seeing people like mostly agreeing with this in the comments. This was a great promo. It was. This is like an objectively, it was a fun promo. I say objectively, but like nothing's ever honestly objective with FIFA. But what was the like general consensus last great promo? Tell me in the comments. Was it even this year? Do we have one this year? Most comments yesterday said Team of the Year. It's probably about right. Like most people like the last 2 days of Team of the Year with 82 by 20s. It just ended up kind of ruining some of the game for a while. Okay, let's read some of your wonderful comments now. FUT Tracker, no one has asked EA why we don't experience the same delay in other games. And I think that the problem with this is that most people who are going to be able to interview EA or talk to them are not going to ask like the crazy difficult questions. Like, they're just not going to do that. I will give some props to Fun Accountant. Like, he brought up some things that I didn't think he would, which is nice. But I think the problem is we know the answer to this question, and it's that they don't know, which means they don't have an answer to this question. Like, they don't probably know for sure why the delay is as bad or as weird or as inconsistent as it is. They probably don't even really know why. They said, obviously, like, what was it, 2 or 3 videos ago, we talked about how they said it was the animations, right? They kind of were like, yeah, that's been a big problem, but is it always the animations? I would probably say no. You know, that's probably a part of it, but this is the thing, is that they don't have an answer to this question, is my guess. So why really ask it if you're sitting there? You don't want to have to bite the hand that feeds you by asking too much of crossing a certain line. They would worry they might do that by going in a certain direction if you're an interviewer who's asking questions to EA. Of course, this is just good journalism, you know, journalism, quote unquote, as you should be when you interview people, but we know that's not realistic. And Cam OK talks about how he said Winter Wildcards was pretty solid from his memory, but down here he talks about how his motivation's been not there to grind for a lot of the year after experiencing the bad gameplay. But he says, when I started to play career mode and do a Youth Squad Legends type save, I have to say I've never had so much fun on a video game. And this is kind of the thing with all games, but especially this one too, is that you kind of just gotta attempt as best as you can to escape whatever addiction a certain game is trying to pull you towards, right? EA is trying to pull you into the FOMO of, oh my god, I gotta get on every day without fail. I can't miss a day. Oh my god, what's gonna happen? I'm behind in the weekend league. I'm not gonna make as many coins this weekend as other people will. I'm gonna be behind again. Oh my god, I gotta play all day, every day. Can't stop. You know, you gotta try your best to get out of that cycle that EA wants you in. And the best way to do that is finding whatever you're the most fun doing, whether that's a Youth Squad Legends type save, if that's something an Ultimate Team, if that's a different game at all. You know, you got to do whatever you find the most fun doing, because what else are you doing if you're not doing that? Maybe you have fun like grinding, and that's how I have fun too. I might hop on for a day and not have the most amount of fun I possibly could because I'm like kind of working towards something. I don't mind doing that, but you watching this need to do and play whatever you have the most fun doing, because that's the most important thing with video games. Our lives, for most of us, this is our escape, right? Let's enjoy our time that we have playing video games. If you guys watched yesterday's video, I responded to Atlanta Braves comment, and he kind of said here his response to that one, and what I'll say is that he says the selected people on the PR tour makes me believe it's just a PR tour, right? And I agree with you. I mean, the thing is that this is a PR tour right now, a generational PR tour, but they have to at least come through on most of this stuff. Otherwise, they are completely fucked. If this game comes out and sucks ass with all the stuff they've said leading up to this game, they're putting the expectations on themselves here. They have to deliver, otherwise it is going to be so much worse than even last year. Because I think, honestly, for the guys making this game, I think they've never felt a pressure in terms of their job security more than this year. If this next year comes around, we're in November, December again, and the game is in the same spot it was last year, and they have to explain again in January and February, I think it was February maybe, I forgot the exact month, that yeah, we did not meet any of our goals, and that's, yeah, we didn't meet any of them, sorry. For the second straight year, heads might be on a spike here. Like, people's jobs are at stake possibly. I think that plays a part in it. Like, you almost had to have 1 year of this happening for them to actually get their shit together and be like, okay, we might have to attempt to do something better now. Now, that might be a very optimistic spin on things. It definitely could be, but I think we almost had to have like a bad year for them to almost even think about fixing shit, because they didn't have to do anything prior to this year. But guys, thank you all for watching. I seriously appreciate you, and I love you all. Peace.